Would I ever work with a partner again? Hey and welcome everyone, it's day 80, happy Friday. I've mentioned this in this week already that right now it's going to be a bit more forward looking. And no, I'm not starting a new business, but I just want to reflect a bit on would I work with a partner again? Many people draw that wrong conclusion. They look at my very past company and think just because we had a founder fallout back then and now we had a founder fallout that, working with someone or maybe even working with me is not possible. And look, maybe working with me is very difficult. That could be. I'm not denying that. But I do think it was fundamental different problems. Obviously, my business partner in my past company is, very questionable history there with the Ethereum, with the DAO hack. And I think this fallout that we had here at Cake, completely different in nature a bit. But I do actually have quite a lesson that I also want to give to you. And the very first lesson is something that I probably would have disagreed with about 5 years ago, but now I really changed my mind a bit. And that is no more 50-50 partnerships. I think this was a fundamental problem, especially if one partner, in this case me, my reputation, my brand, my face, my everything is attached to this company. And I think for my ex-partner, this was not as much the case. I don't want to deny that he didn't care about the business at some time, but I think his attachment to the business and what he kind of felt for the company was very different than for me. And I mean, you could see this. He wanted to just completely close down the company where I fought for the business. I think there's a fundamental difference there, right? And I think this always is the case. You will never have a 50-50. You will never have a 50-50 responsibility. You will never have that 50-50 commitment. And so, in my opinion, there should be a clear distinction of at least 50.1, 49.9, but I believe actually it should be way more. Actually, a lot of people, right, that I have spoken to also in the last 6 to 9 months have told me that they've hardly ever seen this CEO, CTO with like a 50-50. Many times they say it's like a 70-20-10, where then the 10 is for employees or something. And I don't know exactly what the percentage should have been. Maybe it should have been 2/3, 1/3. But I think this would have changed fundamentally already in kind of this setup. And so I think this is really, really crucial if you ever want to set up a business. If I would ever do anything new in the future, and I want to be very clear, I have no plans for that. You will see we're going to continue everything here. Cake is continuing. But this is just a bit of a reflection. I think something I get asked a lot in all of that. So that is kind of a bit of, I think, a fundamental setup that I think, kind of leads to some issues. And I don't want to say that all 50-50 setups lead to issues, but I think it's quite difficult in the first place. The second, and I think that's obviously a crucial kind of thing, is to look for what's called shotgun clauses. It's something we didn't have. And it's not something we needed, I think, at the very beginning because we had external investors. But I think further down the line, we should have included these shotgun clauses. And at the end, it was basically something that I kind of enforced in the entire judicial process, where I then went and said, hey, look, you think my purchase price that I offered to you is unfair, then buy me out for that same purchase price. And that kind of really shows if it's fair or not. Because if you think it's not fair that I buy you out for that, well, then it must mean that it should be a really bargain to buy me out. And at the end, he budged and didn't go with this, and the judge noted that. And I think at the end, that was a key kind of consideration for the judge also to really dismiss the case. Now, if we had something contractually like this from the very beginning, these shotgun clauses, and there's various differentiations in all this, it's just what they are called, because basically you're really kind of forcing the issue if one person wants to leave or if one person wants to be bought out or whatever. If there's just a disagreement, if there's a separation, then this could really kind of push this. So I think especially if there's 2 people, maybe also with 3, you really kind of want to look into this. And last but not least, I am actually still quite doubtful that one team member companies are quite successful. I actually think it's very, very difficult. I think there are a lot of times, and look, when I think back with my ex-partner, there were times when I think we worked together super fantastic. I think it was really, really good over times, right? And I think this is necessary. And there's a reason why, for example, Y Combinator goes and says they only accept multi-founder teams, right? Where they don't accept these single founders. I understand that. I actually think there's a strong merit to that. And just having these single kind of founder teams can be very, very tricky. And I'm not 100% convinced that they're going to be so successful. So these are just my thoughts on that. We're going to have tomorrow me reflecting a bit on the 90 days. Tomorrow I'm going to be reflecting more on the content side. This week I actually made a video more on the business side, on the decisions. So this is also going to come out. And then Sunday is going to be a bit of a special day because I'm going to be celebrating my wife's birthday and share a bit about that. And then we have this last week of the 90 days where we're going to look a lot on what's going to happen on day 91, what's going to happen on day 100, what's going to happen day 120, what's going to happen in October, November, December, so that you have this commitment that it's not just ending after 90 days. So that's it for today. Have a great Friday, everyone. Have a great weekend. Talk tomorrow. Yours truly, Julian. Bye-bye.